Hey everybody, welcome to JLB Sports TV. I am Justin Block. And today, since it's Sunday and the Packers already played on Thursday, slow week in Packer Nation, I am declaring today Aaron Rodgers Appreciation Day. Because I think we all need to sit back and just realize what we have at the quarterback position. Right now, Aaron Rodgers is one of the top, just elite options at quarterback in the league. Just gonna read off his stats really quickly, just to impress everybody. Quarterback rating of 104.9, 22 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, 65% completion percentage, and 1,356 yards. Those are great numbers in itself, but let's remember, he also has 44 sacks this season. 44 sacks, everybody. That's almost double the league average in sacks. And he's on pace to break a franchise record with 64 sacks. You can name that Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and Drew Brees and Brett Favre and Matt Schaub and Philip Rivers and Big Ben. Oh yeah, they're awesome quarterbacks. Yeah, they put up great numbers, comparable to Rodgers, but they don't have 44 sacks. I think we all know that sacks can ruin a young quarterback's career. If you look at David Carr, what happened to him in Houston in 2002 with the Texans, he was sacked, I don't know, I think 70 times was it? He literally, his career never got off of the ground because he was always on his ass because every time he stepped back to throw a pass, he'd get sacked. Now I think he's the backup, yeah, he's the backup for the Giants. And just to compare, the next sacked quarterback, the next most sacked quarterback in the NFL is, let's see here. Oh, what do you know? Matt Castle, and he's having a great year in Kansas City, right? No, he's not. And on top of the great performances that he gives us week in and week out, we also need to realize that he is replacing a legend. That is very, very hard to do. They're still trying to replace Dan Marino in Miami. They're still trying to replace Steve Young and Joe Montana in San Francisco. Still trying to replace Steve McNair, maybe not a legend, but still trying to replace him in Tennessee. Ever since Rich Gannon retired, the Raiders have sucked, so I guess they're still trying to replace him in Oakland. Point being, it is very, very, very hard to have a quarterback who was a legend, your franchise, a top quarterback, have him retire or go to another team and replace him with somebody just as good, if not better. And you know what? The Packers have successfully done so with Aaron Rodgers. I firmly believe it's not only because he has the talent and he's so great, but because he sat in Mike McCarthy's system for, I believe, 2 years, and he could grow and mature and learn the system before he could actually evolve into one of the best quarterbacks in football. This leads me into my next point about rookie quarterbacks. Now, I think a trend that we're starting to see in the NFL is that when you draft a quarterback with a high first-round pick, you just throw him into the action right away. Give him the starting job, either immediately in the preseason, the beginning of the season, or throughout the course of his rookie season. Now, I think that's a trend that is eventually going to die away. I know last year it worked wonders with Matt Ryan and Joe Flacco. They came in, I think, the first game, both of them. Each of them had great years and led their teams to the playoffs. But I think that those two circumstances were outliers. If you look at Joe Flacco, he went to the Ravens. Yeah, the Ravens offense wasn't that hot. They had a decent running game last year. I know Flacco didn't have many receivers, but they had that great Baltimore Ravens defense. And you know what? Defense wins championships. And if you look with the Falcons, Matt Ryan actually walked into a pretty good situation. Michael Turner turned out to be one of the best running backs in football last year, and he has a Pro Bowl wide receiver in Roddy White. So, you know, good situations. But my problem is when you throw a quarterback into the fray and you just don't have a good roster at all, which is what's happening with Detroit and Matt Stafford. They threw him into the fray. Detroit's team obviously sucks. I know he has got Megatron for a wide receiver and a decent running back, but just not a talented team at all. He suffered injury after injury, and I don't know. Not too hot on Matt Stafford right now, even though he came off that great performance against the Browns. But I really do believe that a year under his belt, a year in the system, is more beneficial than throwing them out into the fire and just letting them burn. As I mentioned before, David Carr, first round quarterback, first overall pick of an expansion franchise, started right from the get-go, got killed, and never really developed. Alex Smith, I know he only started halfway through his rookie year, but he was really a guy that needed to just take a year off and learn an NFL offense, because I think he came from Utah and they ran mostly a shotgun offense, which just does not work at the NFL level at all. Oh, and then there's the case of Jamarcus Russell, who came out of LSU, has all the talent in the world, but, you know, he held out all of training camp his rookie year, came in his rookie year, and just hasn't developed since then. I think it has less to do with him sitting out rather than just him just not being a good NFL player. I think even if he had a year under his belt to learn the system, he'd still suck just because he has an awful work ethic. But if you look at guys that take a couple years to develop under a system or in the league, I think that they have the greater chances for success. You look at guys like Aaron Rodgers, for example, sat out for 3 years, learned from McCarthy's system for 2 years, he's doing well now. Kurt Warner went to the Arena Football League for a couple years, came back with St. Louis, mastered Mike Martz's system, now doing great with the Cardinals. And Carson Palmer too, just sat out completely his first rookie year, just didn't get any snaps at all, and now he's become a great NFL passer. I think one of the best examples is, well, Tom Brady. In Tom Brady's rookie year, he only played 1 game. In Tom Brady's second year, he played 15 games. In 2001, I think that was the year that the Patriots won the Super Bowl, am I correct? Yeah. It was the year they won the Super Bowl. So, see, he had a year to learn under Drew Bledsoe, to learn the Patriots offense, just accumulate all of that, take a breather, and dominate. So I'm a firm believer in letting a quarterback sit for a year before you start him. But I know there's pressure to throw him out there since most quarterbacks, if you're gonna draft them with a high pick this year, they're gonna get $30 to $40 million guaranteed, and oh, you're just wasting all of that money. But believe me, your future as an NFL franchise is worth it over that $40 million guaranteed. Because let's face it, if you throw him out there his rookie year and he bombs and never recovers, well then you're stuck with that $40 million guaranteed for a shitty player. That's all for today for JLB Sports TV. I'm Justin Block and I'm out. Oh, but wait, I never talked about Mark Sanchez. So I think Mark Sanchez is officially one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, if you had Jay Cutler, Mark Sanchez, Jamarcus Russell, Matt Stafford, and Jake Delhomme, along with who's ever throwing the ball for the Cleveland Browns in the same room, you may have just a group of the worst quarterbacks in NFL history. So Mark Sanchez this year, his stats are, as of right now, not counting the game that he played today, 10 touchdowns to 16 interceptions, including that 5 interception debacle against New Orleans. I have tons of friends that are Jets fans. I told them this day they drafted him. Okay, yeah, Mark Sanchez has great potential, looks like a great NFL QB one day, but you know what? He only started 16 games in his collegiate career. ESPN did a study a couple years ago, and they found a strong correlation between quarterback success and number of starts in college. The more starts you have in college, the more reps you get, the more games you actually play in, well, that just makes you a better quarterback and better suited to play in the NFL. And Mark Sanchez was not prepared going into this year to play in the NFL. He should have stayed in college another year in my mind. He would have been the first overall pick this year. But you know what? He's getting his butt kicked in the NFL. And if it's worth it to collect the extra $5 to $10 million this year, all right, that's it.